All right, here we are. Welcome. Let me take my shoes off. This is Loosen Up and Don't Be So Mental. Welcome. We're gonna do just that. Take a big deep breath, grab a wrist and side stretch. Start breathing in and out through your nose. Put the singular point of focus on the breath in and out through your chest where your heart is. It's called like a heart-centered breathing. And you kind of turn your gaze inward. You can't really look at your heart, but you can gaze inward in the region of your chest where your heart is. And breathe in and out as if through that region. Hands up, look up. So that our single point of focus during this class will be just that. Little mental gymnastics. And if you notice that your mind is wandering and you're thinking about other stuff, then just return to that heart-centered focus and that inward gaze. I'll let you decide what that means. It's up to you to figure out what the inward gaze is for you. Hands up, look up. And then push those knuckles down behind your back. We're going to spend about 35 or 40 minutes loosening up our muscles. A little more focus on mobility and flexibility. Although we're going to be using our muscles as well. And the don't be so mental part is just doing a little mental gymnastics and focusing on one thing, in this case, the heart-centered breath. And lean forward from the hips and take those hands up over the top. Meanwhile, we're going to be doing these things called the Tibetan Rites. So I stole these moves from 2,000-year-old Tibetan exercises. And they're just meant to be a wonderful warm-up for moving your body. I think they work pretty good. So feel the stretch in the backs of those legs and the front of your shoulders. Endeavor to maintain that heart-centered inward gaze. So this is how you practice being present. Touch the floor with your left hand and twist and look up at your right hand. So you can be doing stuff like I'm asking you to do these moves. And let the priority be the heart-centered gaze, and you won't miss a thing. And then touch the mat with the right and twist and look up at your left. You might notice when you're able to stay singular pointed in your focus, that you kind of begin to feel this peaceful, easy feeling. It's kind of a calm and alert state. And you can have a calm and alert mental state at all times. So we're going to practice doing these exercises and meditating at the same time. Cross those forearms and twist around and look at your left ankle. I can say that I'm not really good at multitasking, but one thing I've always been able to do is Keep this heart-centered gaze, keep this singular pointed focus on the body and do stuff. Kind of like multitasking. Look over at that left or that right ankle. And I find I can remain alert to what's going on. Even better when I don't let myself get distracted with a bunch of thoughts. Come back and sit on those heels. Bring your thumbs up and your shoulders down and squat down nice and low. Pick those hands up. Hold your tummy in. And then take those palms back. So your hands are high, but your shoulders are down. And then just walk those hands out onto the mat and onto your hands and knees. Take your knees kind of wide on the mat and drop your butt back over your feet. Exhale. And then inhale, bring your hips to the mat and lift your chin. Exhale, drop back in child's pose. Inhale, come up into cobra. Just back and forth between these two modes. Do these at your own pace with your breathing rate that matches what's comfortable for you. Or just do it at the same time I do. Now try the same move, but come up on your toes into the cobra this way. And then lift those hips in the air like a triangle pose. And go back and forth between these two moves. Cobra, triangle pose. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lift the hips. So you've got the move figured out. You can get back to that inward gaze, that heart-centered focus. And then let's just hold those hips up in the air and alternate right heel and left heel to the floor. Then press both of those heels down, both of those armpits towards the mat. Tailbone to the sky. Big stretch in the back of your legs. And then raise that right leg up in the air. Reach up toward the sky. Up on the tiptoes of your left foot. Keep that big breath coming in and out through your nose and maintain that heart-centered gaze. Then bend that right knee, open that right hip and twist. And press that left heel to the floor. Turn your head and look under that right armpit. And then switch legs. Raise that left leg straight up. Reach for the sky. Up on your tiptoes. Then bend that left knee, open up that left hip, twist, and press the right heel down to the mat. And then come back down to all fours. And come up onto your knees. Up to kneeling. Put your hands right down in the small of your back. And inhale, look at the ceiling. And then exhale, look at the floor. Bring your face down between the knees. Inhale, open up. Lean back into those legs. Exhale, round forward. And practice this move, maintaining that heart-centered gaze. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look at your belly button. When you're up here, just kind of keep those rib cage abs nice and tight so you're arching your back but not hyperextending it. And then this is the last one. Just stay up on those knees. Bring your hands up here. Lean back into the tops of those feet and twist and punch. Exhale as you punch. Inhale as you switch. Inhale in the middle. Exhale as you twist. Look back at those feet behind you. The more you lean back, the more you feel those legs working. Three, two. Let's stay over on one side and look back at those feet for 4, 3, 2. Other side, twist around, look back at those feet and lean back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back up. And take those hands up in the air. Lean back and look at those fingertips. And just take some nice, big, heart-centered breaths while you're looking up between your fingertips. Lean back into the tops of those feet. Good, bring those hands down. And sit your butt down between your feet. So we just got some work done in those legs, and now we're giving them a good stretch. Walk those hands back. Squeeze your glutes. And if you want to come back a little further, come back on your elbows. Squeeze your butt. Feel the tops of those legs stretch. Then come back up. Seated and swing those legs around to the side and to the front. So your legs are out in front of you and your fingers face your hips. Let's lift those hips and inhale. And then reach forward and grab those toes and exhale. Go back and forth between these two poses. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach forward, grab your toes. Maintaining that inward gaze, that heart-centered focus. And notice how it's very restful to your body and your nervous system if you practice this single pointed gaze. You'll realize you can do stuff all day long. And make it your intention to stay focused on this inward gaze. And you get a lot done when you remain at ease. Really worthwhile to practice these mental gymnastics. And you can do them throughout the day, no matter what you're doing. You're driving your car or whatever you're doing, you can practice this. Let's hold those hips up in the air. Lift those hips, look back behind you. Open up your chest. Carry that weight on your arms. Then walk those legs just a little straighter. Put those heels together. Legs straight, hips up. And then lower yourself down and reach forward and grab those toes. Take a few big breaths and just let those muscles all stretch out. We were just working those muscles in the back half of the body, and now we're stretching them. Then let go of those toes and start rolling down that spine, just one vertebra at a time. Curl that tailbone. Reach towards those feet and hold it with your arms outstretched. And feel those muscles in your stomach working a little bit. And roll down just a little further down, one vertebra further down towards the mat. Feel the work kind of up in your rib cage. Roll down just a little more. 4, 3, 2. Pull those knees into your chest and rock it up. And then put the weight over on your right hip and point your toes over to the right. And roll down that spine and hold it. You feel those rib cage abs working. Roll down just a little further and hold it. And then point those toes straight up in the air and roll the rest of the way down. 4, 3, 2. The knees come in, the hands go overhead, and you rock it up. Now you're over on your left hip. Reaching towards those toes. Toes are pointing out to the left. Roll back and feel the rib cage abs working. Don't forget about your heart-centered gaze. That has all of your attention. Roll down just a little further, and then point those toes straight up. One vertebra at a time rolls down towards the mat. 4, 3, 2. Nice job. Just lay back and pull those knees apart, hands on your knees, and make circles. And then make circles the other way. And then put the hands up in the air and your knees up in the air. And let your knees go right and your hands go left and twist. Inhale. Exhale, bring them back to middle. Inhale, twist the other way. Really turn your head and follow those fingers with your eyes. Last one of these. Grab those knees again in the middle. Just lay your head back. Now put your hands behind your head and hold those knees up like this. And lower those heels down towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale and bring your knees to the elbows in the middle. Inhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the legs. You can do this with knees bent, or you can do this with straighter legs. It's a little more challenging with straighter legs. When you're lowering those legs, you can allow a little arch in your back, but not too much, just about a finger's width between your low back and the mat. You're arching your back too much, then you should probably bend your knees a little more and take a little bit of that load off. Inhale, heels to the floor, look up. Exhale, look at your belly. Three more of these. Nice job, feet to the floor. Let's go ahead and lift those hips up in the air into the bridge. Grab your handles, your fingers behind your back, lock your fingers and walk up on the points of those shoulders. Raise those hips up as high as they'll go and just breathe into your belly. Kind of squeeze your knees together a little bit. Lift those hips as high as they'll go. Just giving that stomach a good stretch after that work. And then lower down, unlock those fingers. Come up onto your elbows like this. Put your hand in the small of your back. And lift your chin and look back behind you. Bring the top of your head down towards the mat. So you're resting on your head and your elbows. I have my hands by my hips. You're looking back behind you, resting on your elbows and the top of your head. If you want, you can pick those feet up off the floor just a little bit. And then lower yourself back to the mat. Nice work. Grab onto those knees, lift your head, and rock it front to back. Inhale on the way back. Exhale on the way up. Just continue practice your mental gymnastics. Heart-centered gaze. Singular pointed focus. Minimal distractibility. Just stay attentive to what you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and put your hands by your sides and roll down slowly, bringing those legs up over the top into the plow. Legs all the way up over the top. Keep your hands in the small of your back. Put the weight on your shoulders and scissor those legs. So one leg reaches toward the ceiling, the other leg reaches towards the floor. And then hold those legs straight up in the air and pedal that bicycle. Big circles. Really healthy to hold those legs up in the air. Keep that heart-centered, focused, single-pointed, heart-centered breath. Pedal backwards. Letting those legs drain. Let gravity drain those legs. Very, very healthy thing to do. Then reach overhead and grab those toes. And see if you can work on straightening those legs. And keep your weight over your shoulder more than your neck. Then let go of those toes. See if you can use your stomach muscles and roll down that spine, controlling one vertebra at a time on the mat. And slowly those legs come back to vertical. And then continue down till they're about 18 inches off the floor. And then just hold those legs up in the air and breathe a little bit. Maybe you're shaking a little. And then bend those knees and put those feet flat on the floor, relax. Take some nice, conscientious, heart-centered breaths. Then reach up and grab that left knee and pull it in towards your shoulder. Straighten your right leg and flex both feet. So you feel a little stretch in your groin and your hamstring. Really extend that right leg towards the wall. Flex that foot, flex both feet pretty hard. Big breath. And then take that left or that right hand and pull that knee across your body. Turn your head, look over at that left hand. Hold your tummy tight. And really twist through your ribs and your neck. And push that knee back up. Grab onto your right knee. Pull that knee over towards your shoulder. Straighten that left leg. Flex both feet. Then take that left hand and pull that knee across the body and twist. And turn your head, look over at that right hand. Twist. Keep your tummy tight and twist through your ribs and your neck. Still flexing both of those feet. Push that knee back up. Let's leave that left or that right foot on your left knee. Put the ankle on the knee and then reach through and grab your thigh or your shin. Lay your head back, stretch that hip. Flex both feet. Kind of push that right knee out away from that right shoulder. Then put your left heel over your right knee. Reach through and grab that thin shin or thigh, thin or shy. Flex both feet, lay your head back. And push that left knee out away from that left shoulder. Feel the big stretch in the hip going on. Maintaining that inward gaze on the heart-centered breath. So the breath is happening and you're just kind of watching it come in and out. Unhook that foot, grab both knees, lift your head, and rock front to back. A few more rocks. And sit all the way up. Let's straighten your right leg and put your left foot over the top. Hug your kneecap and twist around and look over at that left shoulder. Sit up as tall as you can. Spiral upward and look over that shoulder. Bring your chin towards your shoulder. And then switch, take the right foot over the top. Pull it in pretty close and hug that knee with your left elbow. Flex both feet, twist and look over that right shoulder. Just staying attentive to the heart-centered breath. And then put both of those feet together in front of you, bring them in pretty close. And just hold your ankles and push your elbows out into your inner thigh a little bit. And use a little bit of resistance, like you're bringing your knees in towards the middle, but resisting with your elbows. So you feel those inner thighs working and stretching. Then take your hands behind your back, your knuckles in the floor, and push yourself forward. Really open up that stretch in the inner thigh. Take those feet just a little further out in front of you and grab those toes. Bring your belly down towards the mat and your face down towards your feet. Let gravity pull you forward. And roll it back up. Come up onto those hands and knees again. Take your feet nice and wide on the mat. Put your elbows on your thighs like this. And in a squat and just kind of twist from side to side. Tighten that stomach, squeeze those glutes, let those arms hang, and just roll yourself up to standing. Then take your left foot and cross it over your right foot. Reach forward and hang down and stretch the back of that right leg. Maintaining that heart-centered breath. Right, hold that gaze. And just watch the breath come in and out through that region. Then uncross those feet and take right over left. Hang and stretch. Just allow gravity to pull those knuckles down towards the mat. Now uncross those feet, bend your knees again. Tighten your stomach and squeeze those glutes and roll it up. And we'll take one more big deep breath. And exhale. We did it, man. Hopefully that served its purpose. We loosened up and we're not so mental. We're calm and we're alert. Thanks for practicing that.